They buy something. Bath and Body Works is working today. I want to say it's good to see you. I will tell you, this is my first ever Easter message. Never done an Easter message in my entire life. And the reason I've never done one is because for some reason I just didn't every day is Easter. So I didn't get into the tradition or the holiday or whatever. So I call this an Easter, but it's going to have a twist to it. But some people say Happy Easter, some will say Happy Resurrection, all that. But let me start with a story. And the story is that I believe on Friday, a U.S. F-15 fighter jet was flying over Iran and got shot down. And when it got shot down, the two pilots ejected from the plane, and they picked up a pilot, and the other pilot had not been recovered. And that pilot was behind enemy lines. The other one was recovered. He was behind enemy lines. So the U.S. military mobilized search teams. All the intelligence was running. The drones were running. Special forces was coordinated because time matters. Time matters in this process. Because we know that he is in enemy's territory. Iran is big. It's about the size of Europe. It's not little. He's exposed, and he's unable to get out on his own. He can't get out on his own. Now, they didn't say, I hope he finds his way out. Are y'all on the same track with me this morning? They didn't say, I hope you survive. The U.S. military said, we're going to go for him. In fact, don't take this in a political way, Trump, what I saw this morning, text last night, we got him. So sometime yesterday, they got him. Inside the enemy's camp, within short distance, and they did not know they were even there. See, they went into danger. They went into danger to get this soldier. That's your story. Jesus went into danger to get you. Now, I read that SEAL Team 6 was the actual team that went in, but there were hundreds of special forces and Black Hawks and everybody, even the people flying the drones. They may not have been the physical one grabbing him, but they were all part of it. Do you know what it is to go in and retrieve one of your own? See, in your situation and my situation, Sometimes we minimize our situation. But see, you weren't slightly off. You weren't slightly lost. You weren't slightly disconnected. And you weren't slightly sinful. Because we like looking at other people and say, I'm just not as bad as Richard. Richard's a cat. Or we hear someone's past and say, I wasn't as bad as that. But see, when you're lost, you're lost. Whether you're in Iran or whether you're driving around in one of these big neighborhoods in Wilmington. Lost is lost. You don't know where you are. You're disoriented. You're discombobulated. You're disheveled. I mean, you can get lost in Zach and Lisa's neighborhood. All you got to do is not take one road, and you go down there and turn around, and that's a little small neighborhood. You get into some of these big neighborhoods, and I mean, this right here, I'm going to take this road right here, and you go down here, I'm going to take this road right here. Well, I know this road right here has got to get me back over here. You take 6 or 7 turns, and you do get out, and you feel good and say, I knew I could get out, but you were lost the whole time. You accidentally got out. You accidentally, well, I think that car knows where they're going. Come on and talk to me a little bit. David knows where he's going. He works for the city. He got to know where he's going. He works traffic. No. That doesn't mean he knows where he's going. I tell you, you go up 17th Street, I believe it is, and you cut right through there to get back over to Independence through that country club. If they didn't go through there and put signs and all that up, like yellow signs and speed bumps, you would have no clue how to get out of there. I've been through there more than once and got lost. You'll get lost in that area. And see, that's what a lot of people do. They just go through life and maybe this turn, maybe this person, maybe this church, maybe this faith, maybe this, maybe that, and not realizing I'm not totally lost, but I'm lost. But so there was a point that you were cut off, surrounded. You and I were unable to fix ourselves, and there's no way I can get out myself. To all the addicts in the house, you thought you could get out through a drug. You thought you could find happiness through a pill. You thought you could find happiness by sleeping with this person and by drinking this extra. Those are all exit routes that fooled you. See, if we could get out, we don't need Jesus. And he knew you couldn't get out. Whoever invented the GPS knew there was a bunch of lost people. I love them now. They'll tell you I'm riding down the road, photo traffic light ahead. Okay. I appreciate that. Because I'm one of those that help me there, David. A yellow light means go very, very fast. For some, it means slow down or stop. For me, it's like accelerate and catch that light when you look up going through it. It's red. Okay. Well, I made that one. And we think we skilled. So what happened? Jesus came in. Okay, my first screen there. We'll just do that. The nighttime. See, heaven come to rescue us. It's a major rescue operation. I'm thankful. See, when I look at Rania, who is almost 13, Amelia's 13, when I look at this situation, see, at 12, I was already using drugs. At 13, I was already sexually active. At 14, I was already selling. By 16, I was already arrested. And I really was after something because something was so missing inside of me. I didn't know it was missing. It was a gnawing. It's just an emptiness. There's more. And you can say, well, I've never felt that. It comes for different people. Everybody has their own story. But it's kind of like a little bit for me, like the woman washing his feet, is I was so good for Satan. I was good. I mean, I was good at evil. I was good at wrong. I was good at lying. I was good at stealing. I was good at this. I mean, I had a little skill set here. My entrepreneurship goes back a long ways. I was really good at this. So when I got saved, I said, if I live this way for Satan, an enemy, how can I not live for God better than I live for Satan? So I have been one of these, to my detriment at times. I've always been all in. I'm not a 50-50 person. I'm not, well, let's see how this works out. No, we're going to go all in, and if it don't work out, it don't work out. But we're all in. We're all in. Because the only way you can know whether it's going to work is you got to be all in. Any reserve, that could be the thing that keeps you from going. I'm all in. So I want to just take a minute here and reframe Easter for us, what we call Easter, okay? Because when I was thinking about this, and this is some of the reasons why I've never taught on Easter, and so I want to be very careful. I'm glad you're here. You all look beautiful. But we need to just reframe it so you can understand. And maybe this message is for you, Rachel. It's our first Easter service ever. Many of us are experts at Easter. See, it is not about the tradition and the holiday and the dressing up. Nothing wrong with any of that. But this is about recognizing the rescue mission. This is recognizing that someone came and got me. I don't know if I would be here if he didn't come and get me. And I'm being honest, I don't know if I would be here. Because I was wide open. Wide open. I am glad that I didn't live in New York, because I would have been mafia. I would have owned Times Square. You would have paid me to open anything there. I would have been the hitman. I would have been whatever. I would have been the Godfather. I'm just saying, honestly, I don't know if I would have been here. So I'm grateful. And I guess that's why I have had such a confrontational, direct, blunt, sarcastic attitude toward religion. Because it will fool you, deceive you, lie to you, and it will keep you in the pot of water and boil you, and you don't get out the pot. So I'm grateful today So basically, Easter's three things, if you wanted to break it up. It's seasonal. Spring, fresh start. Or it could be cultural. Eggs, baskets, family, and new clothes. Oh, thank you. Or it could be religious. The cross, the tomb, and church attendance. It's one of those three things for most people. And I'm not saying any of those are wrong. Give me, I'm looking for something, so there's no right. Give me three things that would, if you saw it, would identify Easter. Just by, and yes, symbols or something. Okay. Okay, let's stay in the religious category. Three things. So we would say a tomb or stone. Okay, what else? The crosses. Well, let's do it this way, because this will fix us. Let's do cross, tomb, and stone. Can you see that? Cross, tomb, and stone. What is that? The cross, Jesus died. Tomb is burial. And the stone, resurrection. Okay? So if you see, I'm sure across the nation there's hundreds in the lawn, and in there's a big round stone. Well, I'm going to ask you for a minute. We're going to talk about what was the stone for. Okay? So what was the stone about? We have a stone. He was rolled away. What is the purpose of the stone? So we're going to look at that. We're just going to break this down because I want to get outside of our mind and understand the significance of Easter. Some people don't like to say Easter because of the bunnies and all that, and some people say, which Resurrection Sunday? Well, if you say Easter or Resurrection Sunday, it really doesn't matter. It's really how you're living. Because you may not say Easter and not live like it's Resurrection Sunday, and you may say Resurrection Sunday and not live like it's Resurrection Sunday. So it doesn't matter the words. I would rather see embodiment than I would see wordage or semantics. See, in photography, I like these. I really like photography. I know y'all don't think I'm a photographer, but my wife, love you, Mama. She tells me a lot of times, she said, you have an eye for photography. And to me, there's angles. But one of my favorite little angles or little things on photography is it's when they take a picture of Jada, a good picture in a background. You're all there, but you're a little bit blurry. It's like that's the point, and everything else is a little blurry. See, I think Easter has been a wrong focus. We've made the cross. Oh, follow me, Kevin. We've made the cross the focus. We zero in on that. Everything else is blurry. This is the focus, is the cross. It's everywhere. It's the cross. It's the cross. I thank God for the cross. The cross. If it wasn't for the cross, that is not the focus. Okay, before you get up and walk out. I knew that was a weird person right there. That is not the focus. See, we've made the cross crystal clear. It's crystal. What happened here? Forgiveness of sin. It's absolutely essential. And then we go from here, and he died. He died, and he went into the tomb. And there's the tomb. That's the stone. And he went into that tomb for 3 days, and he's resurrected. But see, the tomb is blurry. The cross is clear. And for you and I, that's reversed. He did die, and he had to die to forgive me of my sins. But to have forgiveness of sin and then still live broken is not the plan. To get debt-free and still be broke is not the plan. Oh, let's talk for a minute. If you know anything about the judicial system, you can be a felon. So you do the crime, and then you go before a judge, and you get indicted, you get sentenced, you go do 5 years as a felon, and then they release you because you've done your time. See, the cross forgives you, and your time is done. You are released from sin. You're released from prison. But the problem is when I get out as a felon, I still can't own a firearm. Can I get a higher? Oh, I see you've been in jail. You don't. You see, you do your time, but you're limited free. You're still judged for your past. You're still held in contempt for your past. We can't hire you. You can't be a law enforcement officer. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't. I mean, what can I do? I can't remember now. I get everything confused. I don't even know. Can you vote? You can't. You can't vote I'm an American citizen. Yes, I did something wrong. Yes, I went to prison. Yes, I served full 5 years or 20 years. Yes, I've been released and everything's good. You can't vote. You can't own a firearm. See, my rights are limited. My privileges are limited. And what I want to tell you and submit to you is this. One, that needs to be changed. But I don't want to get political. Because you can never, it's like you can never have repentance or transformation. It's always held over you. It's always reminded. But see, what I want to say is that when Jesus died on the cross, He fully restored you. Fully. Fully. Fully restored. Completely restored me. See, forgiveness clears your record. Listen, forgiveness clears your record, but resurrection rewrites your life. See, this right here is just the release. And the majority, I would say 90%. I would say 95%. No, I would say 98%. No, I might say 99% of people live at the cross and they live limited lives because they are out of focus with what Jesus did. That's what religion will do. It will make you focus on the cross. I'm thankful for the cross. I am grateful. I am not. The cross is wheels on a car. It's not the engine. The church is a Mercedes. No, let's back. The church is a Mercedes or a Land Rover or a Honda or a Camry. Baptist, Presbyterian, AME, it's just whatever style you like. It's a style. Well, if it ain't a Mercedes, it ain't nothing. See, the resurrection. See, without the cross, there is no forgiveness. That is essential. So we build our faith around, listen to this, we build our faith around Jesus died for me. We hear people, I just thank God he died for me. I get it. I understand. I understand it. I'm not correcting anybody. I'm not diminishing that. I just thank God that Jesus died for me. But what happened after Jesus died and you accepted him? He lives in you. So which is better, Jesus dying or Jesus in me? Oh, see, resurrection is not about Jesus dying. It is about Jesus living in me. And if Jesus, who rose from the dead and did all this, lives in me, therefore I can rise above. I'm not going to preach it. See, Jesus died, but he died so that you could live. I'm just a sinful nature. I don't know. I screw up all the time. I'm doing the best I can. I'm just. See, you ever met someone? Have you ever met someone who just can't live what they believe? Most Christians can't live what they believe. And you can't live what you believe at the cross. Now, let me just mess you up a little bit, Lacey. See, we hung up on death, burial. And we get excited about resurrection. But resurrection, there's something better than resurrection. It's called ascension. Not only did he resurrect, he ascended into heaven and sits at the right hand of the Father, and he said, you ascends with me. Ascends with me. You know what? I like it right there. That should have been my title. Do you want to live at the cross? Do you want to live at the tomb? Or do you want to live ascended? We are supposed to live ascended. That's another level. That's high-level Christianity or faith, that we live in a place of authority of knowing who we are. Resurrection is knowing I'm not dead. Ascension is knowing I'm at a higher place. We don't even talk about ascension. You won't even hear anything about ascension this morning. It's all going to be the cross, man. I mean, this is it. This is every tattoo is the cross. You don't ever see a resurrection. It's the cross, the cross. The greatest symbol in the world is the cross. We've been anchored to where he died. We don't live from where he rose. We anchored to a place. We're anchored to a cross. And he's not even there. Let me give you a couple of things I was writing. We build our faith around his death, but not our life around his resurrection. How about this one? We've been forgiven at the cross, but we're still living like the resurrection didn't happen. See, the cross deals with your past. The resurrection changes how you live now. See, you can be forgiven, and you know some of these people, probably you, me. You've been forgiven and still react the same. You've been forgiven and still talk the same. You've been forgiven and still think the same. You've been forgiven and you're still stuck in cycles. You've been forgiven and still sleep around. Isn't it amazing that all this that God did and nothing changes about us? That is a broken system. It's called religion. Our life is supposed to change. Resurrection looks different than tomb. The cross says you're forgiven. The resurrection says you're new. You're a new creation. You're a new creature. See, you can be clean, but not different. You can be forgiven and not different. Corny. It's corny. It's corny. So we have God and we have our union, our relationship. This is tied to the root, which is God. Just analogy. And then we had the fall, which autonomy took over. So what happens here, basically, at the fall, you came from union and from God. I should have a cup. I'm just looking for something that won't work. Yeah, we'll do it right here. Here's what I've noticed. When our union sinned, when it was broke, we become autonomy, self. You know you can be successful. Look at that. Can you tell the difference between those two? They're both green, both same plant, but they're not connected. Your identity is independent. Your source is independent. Everything's independent. Here, you don't have, here all you have to do is stay connected, and this is the source. This produces everything. Now you have to produce everything. And we just don't talk about this, and the more I see it in me, the more it comes out. Autonomy. Listen, crack cocaine is not your enemy. Adultery is not your enemy. Profanity is not your enemy. Your enemy is you. The devil is not your enemy. It is autonomy. I need to do this. I'm in control. I'm in charge. I'm in charge of my future. I'm in charge of my retirement. You're in charge of everything. The greatest enemy to God is you. It says it's hostile. This has no connection. You can have houses, home, money, retirement, titles, properties, and everything. And people look and say, wow, I wish I was like that. But you did that. You have to maintain it. I find out we have 5 properties. 2 homes, 3 properties. Planning to build on a couple of others. And you know what? You think you got 1 yard. You got an apartment. We have 5 lawns or 4 lawns, bulkheads, wells, insurance. I have to maintain all of that. You don't. You get to go out there if you go out there and enjoy it and sit in the chair and, yeah, this is beautiful. Well, what have I done to work, maintain it, replace boards? Josh was out and we replaced floating boards that were going soft. We spent 3-4 hours working on the dock doing that. Just soft boards, not completely rotty. Constant work. Why? Because it's autonomy. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying it belongs to me, so I'm in charge of it. I didn't say, Richard, will you go out there and fix those boards? That ain't mine. I got things to do. That ain't mine. If I ask some of you, hey, you want to come? I got things to do. Why? It's not yours. But everything that belongs to you, you have to maintain it. So I got to make sure I keep my job. So I can't have a relationship with people because I'm in charge of my job. I can't get fired. Autonomy is nasty. And I have been a great autonomy person. It's rugged independence, the rugged, what's the word? Ruggedism, whatever. I mean, it's just, look, and we want people. Man, I remember when Shakima used to do that. Man, you've worked hard. I remember Zach. Man, Zach went to school. He worked hard. Man, yes, sir. Look what I got. Look what I've done. Look what I... We're really proud of us. You can be successful and never have God in your life. Ever. He says, come unto me and yoke up under me. You know what that means? That means, come here, Josh. That means where he's taller, so he have to do it. You get to play Jesus. And he's a little more fit than I am. Just a tad. Just a tad. He's saying, hey, PT. He seen me out here working. He said, PT, come join me, man. Come up under me. It's easier. So he comes over, and then his yoke, you know what a yoke is with animals, his yoke comes over, and we yoke up. So now, because of his height and his stature and his build, he is now taking the brunt of life for me, the little man. Little man. I can still feel life, but it is not as carrying this by myself. He's saying, come under me. I got you, brother. I can breathe, man. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, he's saying, come, let me. Don't do this alone. Let me carry the load for you. But autonomy will say, I can't share. I need the recognition. I need the affirmation. I need you to look at me because a lack of identity and insecurity, you must prove you are sufficient and you are better than others. I'm talking. I can't speak for Kevin because I hadn't known him that long. And I've known Richard a little while. But he's a little more laid back than I am. I have met very few people that can outwork me, work ethic wise. Not 8 hours, 15 hours, 20. I have worked 36 hours without an eye shutting, and my workers are out like that sleeping while I'm working. And you start building an identity, boy, he's got a work ethic. Now I have to keep my identity up. Now I'm over my identity, and wow, you're successful, you have money, you have this. I got to keep this going. I have to keep up the pressure of what my identity has been on me. And when you get older, see, Kevin didn't have to do 30 minutes on a 13 incline when he was 20, but now, well, I got to stay in shape. I refuse to get old. Yeah. When you get old, you try to slow that stuff down. Yeah, it's slow, but it's not going away. Jesus came to reverse this thing. And I am learning to rest in Him. I am learning. It's a lot more fun having Josh come over with all his tools in the back of the car. And I measure, and I like this. We should have been doing this a lot earlier. It's easier. I've been working on friendships. I like friendships. Now, I'm going to pause right here and just tell you something. You don't want me today, and I'm not today. You want me to teach you on friendships? Oh, my gosh. Someone the other day said, well, you know, you're a friend. And I realized later, I said, no, we're not friends. Yeah. Let me tell you what a friend is. When I call you, you come to me. I don't care about your work. I don't care about your job. I don't care about anything. If we're friends, I'm not understand what I'm saying here, okay? Just saying hi all the time, we ain't friends. And I don't want a rabbit trail. We ain't friends. And I don't mean that rude, but just knowing someone and smiling at someone and hugging someone is not a friend. Jesus said, you're no longer servant, you're my friends. Friends are people that live life and build life together. When I've talked about Larry Bullard being a friend, we had a yard fire one time, and we came home at 12 o'clock at night, and everything was black for 2 acres around the house. Diane called Larry. In 30 minutes, they were at our house at 1 o'clock at night. No question, didn't ask them to come. See, my understanding of friendship is going to be sacrifice from me and you. It's not going to church together. And we're all going to have different levels of relationship. We're all not going to be best friends. But I'm telling you, when Jesus said, I call you friends, He is saying, I am here for you morning, noon, or night. If I can't come to work today, my friend's in trouble. No. I can't miss work. You're not a friend. You're not a friend. Your work is more important than a friend. Your family can be more. And it doesn't mean this is critical. I don't want it to be critical. I'm just saying this is the thing that we've got to the place that we don't have. I called Richard the other day. I said, I'm going to pick something up. What time you want to meet me? I love you, man. We had a good time. We talked 2 hours going one way, stopped and got peanuts. We got to know each other hanging out. Getting ready to put some stuff on the RV. I called Kevin. I said, Kevin, I'm going to do it. Yeah, I talked to somebody. I know somebody has an RV. Let's do it. Let's do it. That's what I want to hear. Let's make it happen. That's what I want to hear. That lets me know where we are and where you are with people and where we are in the church. Jesus come and He says, I call you friend. No greater love is a friend than he that lays his life down. This is when you read in Acts, it says that they sold their possessions so people would not hurt. Well, you know, if you wouldn't have spent your money, you wouldn't be in this situation. That may be true, but you are in a crisis or a need. Jesus gave everything for the rescue mission, and you didn't deserve, and I didn't deserve the rescue mission. In fact, I was hostile to him. See, our friendships is an example of our relationship with Christ and his relationship with me. He gave everything. I don't know, I would be curious how many millions of tens of millions of dollars it cost to rescue this pilot. The administration was set up in the Oval Office around the clock for 15 to 18 hours watching everything. We got to get this out. Jesus set up everything to get you and I out of our crash site. And my witness and my goal is to help you get out of your crash site, and you help me get out of my crash site. Does that make sense? So I am going to teach eventually on friendships, not as a negative thing, but we don't know what these things mean anymore. And with technology, our friend is our phone. I would rather spend time with my wife than anybody. But I enjoyed, and I would rather spend time with Josh working on the dock than my wife. Well, I think you're cutting that too short. Are you going to use that, or are you going to... Let me get a kiss in here. You know how there's just some things that men understand that only men understand, and there's just some things that women understand that women understand. And we're okay with that. Y'all with me? See, we've made resurrection. See, resurrection is not just about where you go when you die. So let's talk just for a minute. What's the stone? Stones are everywhere. What was the stone for? What was the stone about? Say that again. What was the stone? Kept Jesus in, kept people out. Come on, talk to me. Okay, I won't get to this today because of time-wise, but I got another question for you. You know who Mary was, right? Mary. Okay? She went down to the tomb, right? And I will not be able to get this today, but no, we don't have time. If you read the scripture, it says that Mary went to the tomb and didn't recognize Jesus. How? Now, my brain, I spend a lot of time on this. How did Mary not recognize Jesus? You got to think about that. Whether I'm alive or dead, if you see me, that's PT. She did not recognize, I don't want to rapture. I'm going to come back to it one day. She didn't recognize Jesus. How did she not recognize Jesus? This is weird. That's weird to me. I spent a lot of time on this. How did she not recognize Jesus? Wasn't a visitor, a guest. She didn't recognize him. But let's talk about the stone. See, Lisa said the stone was to keep him in and keep others out. The stone is a very big deal when you look at the stone. But see, Jesus didn't need the stone to keep him in because he was already, according to Scripture, walking through walls. He was already walking on water. The stone had nothing to do with him inside or whatever. The stone was to show you what had happened. The stone was moved so you could see. Now notice Mary. I'll give you a little tidbit on Mary. Mary, it says that Mary went down to see. But she was trying to see what was familiar, and Jesus was no longer familiar. He was new. So we're looking for God to do things in an old way, and we miss the new. Come on. She saw the gardener, she saw Jesus, and thought it was a gardener. What? And she went to Jesus and said, "Where's Jesus?" He said, "Mary is me." See, if you keep looking for God in the old way, you won't see what's right in front of you. She knew how Jesus looked. See, everybody around you knows what you used to be. And when they get around you, they still see the old you. They don't see the new you. So we start living like the old me instead of continuing to live like the new me, because at least people recognize me, and I don't want people not to recognize me. See, the real question was what actually happened. How many times, see, when the stone moving, get this into prayer for a minute, the stone moving was not the power, the stone moving was showing the evidence. How many times do we pray, "God, fix this"? Or we pray, "Remove the obstacle." Or we will say, "Change the condition." But see, what we should be praying is, "God, help me to see what's going on." Because we're praying what we're seeing instead of what God's already done. Jesus wasn't in the tomb. The resurrection had already occurred when the stone was gone. They were looking for him, but he was not there. See, we're looking for something in our situation that's not even there. God is already changing the situation. If we can see the change and come into agreement with the change, come into agreement with the Word, instead of looking for what the typical outcome is and what the typical situation is, God's already working on your and my behalf. Does that make sense? The stone was moved so you could see the resurrection has already occurred. God's already made ways into your life to get things to work for you if you can see it from that elevated perspective. So resurrection is so important. So last thing here I just want to touch on, that just to bring this into understanding. We talk about death. It says that death has no more authority in your life when Jesus died, right? Y'all have heard this. How many of you have heard this? Death has been destroyed. Let's talk this out just for a brief minute. What does that mean? What is death? I'm not questioning us to make anyone wrong. I'm saying I want to help us understand what resurrection is. It's not a tradition. It's not a new season. It's not an Easter Bunny day. It's not new clothes. This is the pivotal point in our life of what occurred. We live from resurrection, not the cross. So when it says death has no sting, death is no longer has authority over us, what is this saying to us? What? Sin what? Sin has no authority. Okay, we'll use that. What does that mean? the old man. Something ended. What ended? What we were and did. Okay? So are we saying, because of the death, burial, and resurrection, that what I was and what I did, I'm not doing anymore? All the above. All the above. Everybody say all the above. All the above. Hmm? Oh, I love this. This is. I want it. Rescue. Go to the next one for me. We're talking clarity. Not a stone, not a tomb, not a cross. Clarity. Will you put up Ephesians 2:1? See, most people think of death about when your heart stops beating, when this life is over, you funeral somebody, you're going to heaven. And he made alive when you were dead, slain by your trespasses and sin. Will you do the other scripture we have too? I think it's 1 Timothy 5:6. Whereas she who lives in pleasure and self-gratification, giving herself up to luxury and self-indulgence, is dead even while she still lives. See, if you live at the cross, you can be alive but dead. You know, getting saved does not make us live resurrection life. So when it's talking about death here, it is talking about this here. It is talking about this is death. You're disconnected from the source. And the resurrection life comes back and it reconnects you back, grafted back into the source, into the union, into the relationship. So everything flowing in here is flowing through here. Okay? We should look like this. And if this is Christ and we're grafted back into that, then it's odd how we don't look like this. Does that make sense? So we're functioning, but something's off. We still react instead of responding. We've been learning that. We're carrying pressure instead of living in peace. We're worrying instead of being at peace. We're doing everything, but we're not feeling whole. So we're living, but we're not fully alive. This is where most people live. I don't know. It's just, I'm not living. So I want to give this to you because this is important. See, the pilot in the jet wasn't physically dead, right? In the scenario over the weekend, the pilot wasn't dead, but he was cut off. He was surrounded. He wasn't able to move freely, and that's why the rescue mattered. Yeah, he would have died or been captured. Okay, so Jesus, resurrection is not Jesus survived. Resurrection is about me being reconnected permanently to everything. That's why it's a big deal. But the focus is the cross. Even today, the focus will be the cross. But see, this is about restoring us. This is about, we say death has lost its authority. Does that mean If death has lost its authority, Lacey, we hear a lot of Christians, we hear a lot of people say, you still have a sin nature. There is no way to have a sin nature if 1 Peter says that when you get born again and regenerated, He gives you a divine nature. So if I have a divine nature, how can I have a sin nature? Just using color. I'm white, she's black. You can't. You can't. It's white or black. There's sin nature, Christ nature. You can't mix the natures. I cannot be a black man one day and the next day be a white man. Oh, no. One day I could act like one. But it's only temporary. It's not my nature. It's not my culture. You understand what I'm saying? So I go back. So let me show you when it says death has no authority over you. What is this saying? What is this actually? We're going to shut it down on this. What is this? I'm going to give you just a few things. One, what does it mean when you say death has no authority on me? Here is what death is: fear. Fear says protect yourself at all cost. Worry says if you don't control it, it will fall apart. Pressure says perform or you will not be enough. Shame says something is wrong with you. Approval says who are you depends on how you respond. So fear, worry, pressure, shame, approval, control, anger, comfort, past, that is all death. When I'm operating in this, I am disconnected from truth. Does that make sense? That's what it means. It means now death has no authority. What does that mean? It means perfect love casts out fear. I should be maturing and forming that fear is not controlling me. Shame is not controlling me. It can appear, but it has no voice. It can show up, but it has no rule. It has no authority over me. Therefore, fear, shame, my past, worry, condemnation, all these has no ability to function and operate in me. That's what death is. It is not going necessarily the heaven-hell thing or dying. This is about your reaction. So the issue isn't whether it happened. The issue is, what am I living from? Am I living from the cross or am I living from resurrection? So here's what I want to tell you. And what I want to encourage you. Let's stop living from disconnection. That's what the resurrection is about. Jesus came so you and I wouldn't have to live from disconnection, severed union. See, a divorce severs union. So if you and I can stop living from disconnection and start living from what God's restored, I need to start living, Lacey, from my new identity that God restored. My new union. My new alignment. Everything I'm doing, I'm coming into what God created. And that's what resurrection is. Be thankful. Everybody today will talk about all kinds of things for Easter. But for me, it's a new me. Easter's a new me. Easter is Resurrection Sunday, whatever you call it. This is the fear, shame, guilt, condemnation, victimhood, offense, all those things Jesus has dealt with. Doesn't mean I won't fight. Let me ask you this. If your car doesn't start, do you say, my car's struggling? Well, if your car won't start, that's not a struggle. That's dead. A struggle is when it starts and you put it in gear and it goes. How many of us are struggling? It's that's right. It'll do good for 5 minutes. We struggle. See, God came and says, hey, you need a new engine. You need a tune-up. You need this thing made right. You're running off ethanol. That's a mixture. You need to be running off Spirit, Him. I've given us resurrection life. I've given you everything you need to live this high-octane life. It's for us. This whole day is about you. So let me pray for you. I just want you to release and accept what Jesus actually did. I am thankful for the cross. See, the fall broke my flow. In the beginning, the fall, when man sinned, it broke the flow. But see, resurrection restored it. Father, I thank you that you restored the flow, and now that we're learning formation, it teaches us how to live from it. I thank you that the cross forgave me, but the resurrection reconnected me. And I thank you that now I can live in ascension, positioned in Christ, positioned in you, full authority in you. Not perfect, but I wear resurrection better than I do the cross. I wear resurrection better than I do my old self. So today, I thank you. I thank you for everyone in this room. And I pray over everyone, wherever they are and whatever they're experiencing, that they would recognize this is a crucible, this is a crossroads in their life, that God